Let's touch on Leagues Cup, man, with
Please.
Colombus Crew lifting the title, winning 3-1 against LAFC. Colombus Crew are Leagues Cup champions, winning the trophy in front of their home fans. What an atmosphere. What a performance. With ultimately Cucho Hernandez breaking the deadlock after it was 1-1 with a beautiful goal going past Hugo Lloris. And then Russell Rowe sealing it to make it 3-1. Colombus Crew are champions, and they're the 2024 Leagues Cup champions.
Yeah, Cucho Hernandez he's been killing this entire Leagues Cup. And 2 goals, 1 assist in this Leagues Cup final. He destroyed LAFC. He was impossible to defend against. And the first half, I just couldn't believe how bad LAFC were. It was pathetic, actually. They completely played into Colombus Crew's identity, which is if you give Colombus Crew all of the possession, they're just going to punish you. They're going to make you hate defending, and they're not going to let you out of the final third. And LAFC were just fine with just sitting very deep and only using their front 3 as outlets on breakaways. That's it. They had no interest in pushing their men forward. They had no interest in trying to possess the ball or at least close down the space and make it tough for the Colombus Crew when they did have the ball. And it just was a really easy half for Columbus. I was so disappointed because LAFC were destroying all of their opponents too. And I honestly think they got scared. The last time they played Columbus was in LA. They lost 5-1. It was their worst defeat in their history. And then prior to that, it was the final in Columbus where they lost, and they got honestly dominated too. So right now, Columbus Crew have LAFC's number, and straight up they're in their heads.
They own
LAFC were pathetic in the first half. They gave absolutely nothing. Now, I will say the second half was a lot better. They made a couple of changes. They took off Atuesta. They eventually took off Ilie Sanchez and just brought on a little bit more athletic, imposing midfielders, and that definitely did help. But overall, Columbus is just by far the better team. The much better team from back to front. They just play football way better than LA does.
They shriveled up, bro. Yeah. LAFC shriveled up, and it's so disappointing because you see this team just dominate on their way to the final. 3, 4, so many goals in these runs to the final that the moment you buy into them, it's frustrating because we bought into LAFC when it came to predictions. To see them play this way, dude. I think it really is a mental factor that Columbus Crew has over them, and it's so annoying how it took 65 minutes to see any sort of sign offensively from LAFC. And even then, it was a goal that Bogu scored, but it was offside. That was the first sign of offense that we got from them. And then ultimately, it was through that sort of momentum that they built around that time where Giroud got on the board and he scored for them, which was cool to see in the moment, tying the match up. I thought that would be the momentum switch needed for LAFC to go on and win the game. But after that, Columbus Crew got back on the ball. Cucho Hernandez started thinking really naughty things, and he delivered, dude, on the biggest stage. Man. And it leads me to a question because our boy Fabian Renkel, we met him at MLS All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Our boy Fabian, he tweeted something that has me thinking. I want to ask you, but he says, is Cucho Hernandez the greatest MLS player of all time?
I mean, no, just because Messi's definitely here, and he also won a Leagues Cup in his first try. Cucho Hernandez also has won an MLS Cup, right? That actually is huge. Maybe if he wins the MLS Cup this year, back-to-back.
The run is crazy.
Back-to-back MLS Cups with a Leagues Cup sandwich in between, I think would make him the best MLS player of all time. What'll be fun is if we get a Columbus Crew Inter Miami game, which we already saw, but this time with Messi, right? Because when they did play, there was no Messi. If that happens, the winner of that game obviously will make an even deeper playoff run. That would be really fun to see because right now I think the 2 best teams in the league are Cucho's Columbus and Messi's Miami.
Just kind of pisses me off, man, because what was that Pachuca performance, man?
Yeah,
what was it? It's kind of like Leverkusen's Europa League final against Atalanta.
Dude.
They were 1 game away from being 3 major finals and winning them all, dude. That's how close they were. That would have been a ridiculous statement from Columbus Crew as one of the greatest, if not the greatest CONCACAF team that we've seen in the past 10 years at the very least. Like the run that they would have gone on if they had won that game. But somehow, some way, Pachuca exposed this team, and pretty badly too, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The final was pathetic from Columbus's point of view. Pachuca killed them. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but I mean, honestly, it kind of leads into the fact that if you do host games in Mexico, you just get different results, man. Columbus went down to Pachuca and couldn't handle it. I think you'd see a lot more Mexican wins if a lot more of these Leagues Cup games were in Mexico. We've said that time and time again. But either way, the Columbus Crew lift this trophy. It is pretty crazy that a year on, usually in a league where it's tough for a team to repeat their performance from a season before, Columbus are still probably the best team in the MLS 9 months later.
Right.
I'm actually very impressed by it. Like, everyone's still playing at an incredibly high level. They have a great understanding with one another, and Cucho Hernandez, Cristian Ramirez, and Diego Rossi probably is the best front line in the MLS, maybe right next to Messi's Inter Miami when Messi is healthy. So it is pretty crazy how good Columbus have been for such a long time. So props to them, and I expect them to make a very deep run in the playoffs this year.
I'm excited for the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
The narrative is now building Columbus, Inter Miami. Those seem to be the two top teams. Who's going to get that trophy? I'm interested to see, man. But for now, congratulations to any Columbus Crew fans that listen to the pod. Major victory here, getting the Leagues Cup after getting the MLS Cup last year. Amazing performance. They absolutely deserved it.